Hey, what's up guys and gals? My name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about The Incredible Hulk, the 1970s and 80s television show about Dr. David Banner, who would later turn into the Hulk himself. It's a very similar story and concept to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, although there are different circumstances. But I want to talk about the show itself, things about production, fun facts that I think you probably never heard about. And if you're a fan of the show, if you used to watch it decades ago, I think you're going to absolutely enjoy this. I will be giving away for free a whole DVD set, season 4 of The Incredible Hulk, so you can watch all of the episodes and enjoy so much of this nostalgia. How do you win? Well, it's very simple. It's absolutely free. Just watch the entire video and I'll let you know. Now, the show The Incredible Hulk ran from 1977 to 1982. It was usually an hour long, and the whole series ran a course of 82 episodes. Now, the plot, as I mentioned, does come from Marvel Comics creator Stan Lee. Created this concept. He also created Spider-Man, Thor, Captain America, Fantastic Four, and lots of other Marvel characters. Now, in this one, however, we're talking about Dr. David Banner, a fugitive scientist who has the curse of becoming a powerful green monster named the Hulk under extreme emotional stress or anger. Now, what was really interesting was, first of all, let's talk about the name. We have the Dr. David Banner, who is actually known in the comic books as Dr. Bruce Banner. Unfortunately, people who were producing the show, the head honchos, did not like the name Bruce. I won't go too much into it, but they did see the name as effeminate for some reason. Pretty crazy, because we also have Bruce Wayne as Batman, Bruce Springsteen, and many others, but they decided to go with David instead. Now, The Incredible Hulk is one of the only shows that uses multiple actors to play one character. That is, of course, Dr. David Banner is the same as a Hulk. He's another form of him. He's a transformed self of him. We have Bill Bixby, who played David Banner, that is the man, the scientist, and then we have another actor, Lou Ferrigno, who got into a little bit of prosthetics on his head, but mostly it was his muscular body who played the Hulk. Now, there was a third actor who contributed to the Hulk character, or that is this David Banner character, and that is Ted Cassidy. Now, if you're a fan at all of the Addams Family, the television show from the 1960s, he played Lurch the butler. We know you rang, or when he went, and so forth. Yes, that's the man who's doing the growls for the Hulk. It's not Lou Ferrigno or Bill Bixby. But later, unfortunately, Ted Cassidy passed away during the course of the series Incredible Hulk, and he was later replaced by Charles Napier. Now, as I mentioned, Bill Bixby playing Dr. David Banner. What was really interesting was that when he would transform into the Hulk, of course, we're supposed to believe that the character is the same being, they had to switch actors. They had to use another actor, as I mentioned, Lou Ferrigno. However, what they did on the show, and this was an agreement between Lou and Bill, they never were together physically. That is, during filming at all. There was basically production with Bill Bixby, and then there was production with Lou Ferrigno, and they were on set at different times. They weren't on set at the same time. Why? They didn't want paparazzi or anyone else to snap photos of them together. I'll put a rare photo of them together here, but that was planned. The reason they didn't want that to leak out was that so children and other people who watched the show wouldn't break the illusion of what was going on, that there were two separate men that were forming this character. They didn't want that at all. So that's really interesting. They actually, technically, during production, they were never together. They essentially never met for a long time. And I have to say, that's absolutely amazing, the dedication they had for the show and the character. Now, a little bit of a fun fact here, you can also group this up as a blooper in my mind, but whenever Lou Ferrigno was running in the street as, of course, the Hulk, he was creating chaos and just throwing things around and so forth. The idea was that he essentially was naked except for his shorts. That is, he was topless and then he had his shorts and then he was barefoot. However, it was difficult for him to run around the streets or any type of terrain. So what they did, they had these kind of moccasin type slippers that were on him. And whenever they used a wide angle, or whenever he was wearing them, they made sure he was either running really fast, and they actually painted them green, the same as his body, so they would blend in. But now with HD and so forth, you can actually see he's running around with these funny looking moccasins that kind of breaks the illusion, but is comical to look at now. But if you'd watched this during the 70s and 80s, you wouldn't think twice about it. Now, the producer of the show, Kenneth Johnson, actually wanted the Hulk's skin color to be red, not green. Now, of course, they wanted to maintain the faithfulness to the comics and the origins of the character, and in the comics, he was, of course, green. But the reason why I wanted him to be red, he believed that it would reflect the character's anger. However, Stan Lee rejected the idea. He's the creator of the Hulk, the concept, and so they decided to respect his original concept and idea and kept it as green. Now, Lou Ferrigno had said that he had become so frustrated on the set that one day he stormed off and drove off while still wearing his full Hulk makeup, all the prosthetics he had for his head, his hair, and his costuming. Ferrigno later told us that the sight of him driving down the street resulted in passing motorists having small automobile accidents as he drove around the streets of Los Angeles in the greater Los Angeles County area. That is insane to think about when you look in your rearview mirror and you see a green Hulk driving his car. Now, this man may be familiar to you. His name is Richard Kiel. Now, he is often mistaken for Ted Cassidy, who I mentioned earlier. Ted Cassidy, of course, was the voice, the moaning, the groaning of the Hulk. Now, Richard Kiel was cast to play the role of the Hulk in the original pilot before Lou Ferrigno was even chosen. Now, you may know him from James Bond as the actual Jaws, the villain. They even used him to film an entire week's worth of shooting with him as the creature. But unfortunately, he was fired because he was not bulky enough. Now, Lou Ferrigno had never acted before, and that's why they were a bit hesitant to use him. But his body proportions were just right. He was 6'5", and that made him just perfect for the role. Now, Richard Kiel was 7'2", so he was a lot taller. However, he was a lot thinner, and according to the footage that they looked at, it just didn't work. It just didn't give the vision that the producers and so forth had for this show. In fact, their first choice was actually Arnold Schwarzenegger. They wanted him to play the whole character, which I think would have been amazing, hilarious, and perfect. However, they could not get him for the part, and they chose Lou Ferrigno instead. Now, before I move on, it is interesting to note, as I mentioned, that Richard Kiel filmed about a week's worth of work as the Hulk, and it was pretty much thrown in the trash, except for one little scene in the pilot that I'll show you here. It's a top-down view. That is not Lou Ferrigno, even though Lou Ferrigno reshot everything as the Hulk for the pilot, those parts again. They, for some reason, added this in there, or they mistakenly edited Richard Kiel as the Hulk in here just for a split second. Now, probably a lot of you caught this, but maybe some of you haven't. I caught this recently when I was watching. Remember, I watched this as a kid and never really noticed until I started watching the show again. And that is, in the beginning, the show begins with the button that says danger, but it's zoomed in farther and doesn't include the D, so you just see anger, and then you pull out and then you see danger. And I think that's really cool because, of course, the character transforms after experiencing anger, and so it's a nice little subtle way of just introducing us to the show, a little subliminal messaging, and I think it's amazing. I wanted to throw that here in this video. Thank you so much, guys and gals, for watching. Before I leave, I do want to let you know how to win the season 4 DVD set of all the episodes for that season. All you have to do is make sure to be a subscriber. It's absolutely free to be a subscriber. All you have to do is just quickly hit that red button, subscribe to be part of the Rick9G family, and support the channel, support the work in promoting these classic TV shows, which is what I exclusively cover. Also, hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment down below whether you preferred Dr. Banner or the Hulk, and let me know why in the comments below. And lastly, I'll leave a link in the description where you can put just your quick contact information so that when I pick the winner, I can contact you, send you your DVD free of charge as soon as possible. Thank you so much, guys and gals, for the support, love, and all you do for my channel. We'll see you next time, and most importantly, be hopeful. Thank you so much to all my supporters on Patreon, especially my Diamond tier patrons: Tommy G, Citizen Kane 359, Grace U, Sally N, David D, and Ricky. You can find exclusive content on Patreon at different tiers. Go ahead and check it out, and thank you so much.